Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another course review, picking up with day 3 of the 3-day Thunder Ranch night vision course. And where do we start on day 3? Out there on the Brown Range, which is basically a KD range, going out to 700. It's time to stretch the guns out. And so got after it shooting with our day optics and seeing how far we could stretch the guns out. And yeah, just rolling through, starting at 1, 2, 3, moving our way back.
Good, right at the neckline. Little high. Aim in the center. We're looking, I'm trying to establish where your fucking bullets are dropping. Aim the center of the yellow, please. Number 4. Okay, you're favoring the left edge where the color changed between.
Right in the back, 10. Left third. There you go to the top. Ivan. Good, right in the mouth.
Split the difference. You completely bracketed him. Split that difference down. Elevation's great. Dead center
Fuck
hit,
yeah.
Tom. That
Ben.
was fucking sick, man.
Hold center,
Awesome.
Ben. Ivan. Over the top. I believe you hit him right in the left eye.
Awesome.
Ivan. I come down just a touch. There it is.
With this gun, this setup right here, with this magnifier, managed to get first round hit at 700 with some 55 grain soft point, which is pretty impressive. This gun actually loves that stuff, like sub MOA. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to basically stretch the guns out. A lot of people shoot their carbine at like 50 yards and are like, I'm good. And they're like, whoa, 200 yard shot. But getting the opportunity to be like, cool, like let's see how far this thing will go. And yeah, with the EOTech and magnifier, reached this thing out to 7. It was pretty cool. And after that, got on to more adventures.
That's good dope, man.
Yeah.
You just need to come up a little bit more. Ivan. Right in the fucking throat.
Yep,
First round
good
hit,
shot.
700.
Right to left is perfect. What was your hold? Center?
While it wasn't necessarily part of the course, some people actually had pistols, so we got into transitions and kind of working through or going over concepts and principles, how we want to actually do it the most efficient way, and then getting people some reps in doing transitions. After that, making use of those daytime hours, started basically shooting barricades with partners, essentially moving up, breaking your shot, get your hits, working your way back, switch with your partner, and also different shooting positions. So basically kind of these stair-step barricades, trying to shoot different unconventional positions and working through all of them and getting those good reps in.
Moving.
The other thing this, of course, reinforced is communication, as well as movement and shooting. What do you know? Shoot, move, communicate, right? So got to wrap them all together, being able to work through these drills. Then we got to do some pretty fun solo barricade drills. Basically getting to work laterally across all the different barricades and getting those good hits, working different shooting positions. And since this course kind of dabbles in a little bit of everything, a little bit of an overview, we also worked some malfunctions. Not a ton of time, but enough to go through and be like, hey, these are different types of malfunctions. Here's different ways to clear them and get some actual reps clearing those malfunctions. I will say this rifle, Radian Model 1 with the ADAC low receiver, pretty handy, being able to basically release the magazine and lock the bolt back with the magazine release. Pretty awesome. We then started working through some multiple target engagements. So basically engaging one target and then transitioning, shooting the other target, both with our optics as well as working through with our visible lasers. And yeah, trying to figure out where you can basically shave time. Biggest place is eyes and then gun, because it's really easy to be like, oh, I shot that, and move your gun. Usually you kind of overshoot, but yeah, eyes then gun. A lot of really good reps out there with those drills. If you've ever been to Thunder Ranch, they have the Punisher. Really, really fun course of fire. Starts in a phone booth. And we now had an opportunity as a class to basically, one at a time, start cycling through and basically get a run through it during the day. Really fun, going through, forcing you into definitely kind of compromised, unconventional shooting positions, and you still got to get your hits. Basically shooting on this piece of steel out there at about 100 yards. So everyone got to cycle through. And one of the students, pretty cool guy, Doc Ross, one of the instructors was like, hey, no one's ever got 100 on this. And so he's like, okay. And whether he meant to or not, after that, either way, he ended up not dropping a single shot running through that during the day. Pretty impressive run. And finally, I got my turn to run through that. Ton of fun, that course of fire.
Down here in the slot. Good, in the barrel. Over to the rocks. Up to the cross. Good, through the chain link. Number 4. The slots. Down to the rock. Two more. Two more. Truck bed.
We then kind of that transitional fading light, we're working line drills. Basically everyone lined up, person on the far end breaks their shot, gun up or gun down, safely get around to the other end of the line, break your other shot. Just keep working through. Pretty fun little drill.
Hit him.
Moving. Got our feet. Let's look.
Since things are pretty easy during the day, let's add some complexity. So that same drill we got to do, basically moving lateral with the barricades individually. We got to then go back and do that under knots. Definitely made for some interesting, yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you change the dynamic. You're like, hey, you can see everything. And now you have like a 40-degree field of view. But pretty fun being able to get reps going through those barricades. And muzzle awareness, safety, all of those things, definitely paramount. Start working those line drills at night under knots. And finally, it was time to revisit the Punisher, but this time under night vision. So using your illuminator and your laser to work through all of those different shooting positions and get those hits. Starting off in a phone booth.
Upstairs to the cross.
I can't believe how bright your wrist was.
Got him? Good. Come over to the rock pile, lasers off.
Oh yeah.
To the barrel. It's like when somebody turns on a strobe.
You're on the foot. Sorry.
And lastly, we had the opportunity to take our guns and stretch them out at night as far as we could get on steel. One of the instructors there had, I believe, PVS 31, is that right? Basically the clip-on night vision in front of a magnified optic. And he was sitting there on this bolt gun, also had a full power like mil-spec maul on there, and was using that to, one, be like, hey, this is the target we're gonna be shooting, so he lays it for everyone. And then also be able to spot. So if people are missing, could give corrections. And that was pretty cool, being able to go through and, on the one hand, just individually get reps with your gun, your laser, your illuminator, all that stuff. But also, yeah, just see the other things that people had out there, whether it was mauls or PEC 15s, the whatever crazy Russian one, I think some D-balls, pretty much the entire spectrum out there, and see kind of where they did good and maybe where some shortcomings were. This one actually did a good job for me. I was able to get my hits out to 300. After that, the illuminator was not doing it. I had to have the full power maul go ahead and illuminate the target for me to get my hits at 400. And then, yeah, 5 was a struggle, but I think I might have been the only person to get my hit at 500. And I was basically having to walk my laser up to, like, it's a lot to see a silhouette at 500, even illuminated with a full power maul with basically 2 PVS 14s bridged on a pano bridge, but managed to get that hit.
Where is your laser in reference to it?
There he is. This is where I would hold. Low by a man. Hold higher. Left by my laser.
Slowly.
Up, 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 up. Send it. Oh, up higher. There it is. Favor right. Half a man.
You're shooting faster.
One man.
Yeah. Hey.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Nice work.
All in all, that was an incredible course. The thing I really appreciated about it is Yes, it was a 3-day night vision course. Yes, we spent a bunch of time under night vision. And there was also a daylight portion. So being able to work through kind of whatever we were going to probably work through later that night, so that you could just get kind of comfortable, get reps, be like, okay, cool. So then when basically the lights are out and you can't see what's right in front of you, you're like, okay, yeah, I worked through this before. And so there was some kind of fundamental level of competence, being able to work through different manipulations and things like that. And the other thing that I think was really cool is it wasn't like a night vision CQB course or like 3 days of just doing up drills. It was kind of this really broad spectrum of night vision use. Like, hey, here's things to think about if you're going to be driving with your knots. And hey, here's how to get out of your vehicle with your knots. Or, hey, we're going to go basically on some nature walks at night with your knots. And hey, we're going to do medical with your knots. Like, figure out how to manipulate your weapon safely so it's slung out of the way. All these different things. And again, even like a little bit of CQB with your knots. And none of it was super deep, like down the rabbit hole, but it was enough to give you a little bit of exposure. And sometimes, honestly, that's all you need. Because if you come across a situation you've never done any type of training for, yeah, like who knows what, but if you've at least been exposed to something, you're like, I remember this. And it's not to say you're going to be really great at it unless you continue to maintain and work on those skills, but at least being exposed to it, I think, is the huge value. Overall, definitely really pleased with that course. Who is the course for? Is it for novice, expert? Honestly, anyone. Most night vision courses are not really tailored towards like expert night vision, because night vision is just something hard to get hours in unless you are actively spending a lot of time with it. And I think, yeah, this course, regardless of where you are on the spectrum of training with night vision, I think it would be of value. One of the biggest things, which honestly you can just go home and do yourself, is going on those nature walks. Being able to go and figure out how to move over uneven terrain, over obstacles, whatever it may be, with that night vision. Doing up drills, it's fun, but yeah, like they're up drills. And there's a lot more that goes into night vision. And I definitely appreciated that the instructors covered basically that entire spectrum. And to that end, awesome cadre out there. Everyone did an amazing job, and yeah, really did an amazing job, especially with respect to safety. That's one of those where people have to be on top of it all the time on the range. But think about being an instructor on top of it at night under nods with a bunch of students. They did really good, and so did everyone in class. Everyone was safe, and yeah, I think everyone probably got a lot out of it. I know I did. Definitely a rad course. If you're interested, you can go over and check out kind of their whole course listing over there at Thunder Ranch. I'm not sure when their next night vision course is, but if you're looking at dipping into it, probably be worthwhile. And if you appreciate my content and want to support it, I greatly appreciate it. One of the ways is by supporting me directly through Patreon. One, it gives you access to videos, early access, as well as some exclusive content. And if you have questions, happy to answer those questions. Probably not in the comments, but over on Patreon, we have an active Discord. Happy to answer all of your questions over there. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.